Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back here to Citizen Brewery in Tychy, Poland. My name is Mitch, the Uber Leslie, and I seem to have found the best seat in the house up here. A lot of the guys who've been spectating the event live have actually chosen to chill up here on these comfy seats, and they're really enjoying the show. This guy here was in an exam yesterday, so things are definitely looking up for him, and he's having a good time. By the way, ladies, don't just email me that Type 59 code. Don't have to let everyone know that I'm getting it. Just quietly give it to me. That'd be fantastic. What a game we just saw. Fantastic. It was fair dinkum, some of the best World of Tanks action I've seen in quite some time. Love that last map. Take the hill was the plan, and it really worked out well for Virtus Pro. We're going to see them in the grand final, and that is going to be a hoot. But we're still waiting to see who their competitors are going to be. It could be either Lemming or Team Dignitas, and Dignitas yet to hit the stage yet, so it remains to be seen whether they're going to be ready to go or a little bit rusty as they do sit down and get their stuff sorted. Nonetheless, let's check in on the first of these competing teams.
I think we are well prepared, we were training a lot. I think we have a great chance to show everybody that we are the best team now in Poland.
I think it's better to play in your home country because you have more fans cheering for you than for the enemy, so yeah, I think it's an advantage.
Now we are focusing to play good, don't make any mistakes and do what we can do best. So play on 100% and win the tournament.
The biggest goal for me is to win the tournament, but the first step is to win with Polish guys and then to win with somebody from the Kazna-Denova matchup. I think the toughest work for us is the first game. If we win this, we can win easily with Denova or Kazna.
To be honest, we are mostly scared of ourselves because last tournaments we didn't lose because our enemies were great.
I think Virtus Pro and Dignitas will be hardest opponent here. Other teams are hard too, but not so much like them.
We already are that old and that old team that we are already good vibrations. I think the best way for guys is that they are just trolling me all the time, so this is the best connection for them. Yes, I hope we will win and we'll do anything to do this.
Well, enough said really, ladies and gentlemen, so why don't you put your hands together and join me in welcoming back to the stage, Lemming Train!
Welcome back.
Carmen, yeah, and to you too. You seem so full of energy today, mate. You guys get a good rest and ready?
Maybe not a good rest, but a lot of Red Bulls, so yeah.
That's good, mate. And maybe you've got some maybe bread rolls stashed in your pockets this time, or?
No, I think we have just our secret tactics and everything prepared for them, so they should be scared.
Well, the challenge goes out, and come on, obviously you've seen, you've played plenty of times against Dignitas in this season, and had such a fantastic second half as well, as we said yesterday, came so close to the top of the ladder. What do you think, though, is the best thing about Lemming Train? If someone looks at your team and goes, I love this is what defines them, what do you think that is?
I think that we are always getting back to the game, and always nobody can predict what we can do. And we have a great tactic who is Ilian, and he can take a tactic from a scratch and it will work in a second. We will go there and we are winning. But guys are tough, they were on the boot camp, so we will see, it will be a hard match.
Fantastic. Thank you, Cohen. Go and join your boys and get ready to roll out. Well, you heard it straight from the man's mouth himself, some special tactics. Well, we look forward to that. But let us see what our next team has in store for us.
We feel quite confident, though one of our players didn't come, but we will do our best to win.
First season it saved so much money for us at first, but now it's better motivation for us. Our main target is going to grand final.
We were training with the Russian Golden League teams, but we didn't have our usual partners, so our training was incomplete.
Yeah, this time we will make our visas before and we will prepare boot camp for us. We have 5 days in Kiev and preparing in local club Cyberzone. We have some team discussions for tactics.
We like a tournament area because it's very comfortable. It has everything we need and nothing distracts us from the game. We always improve, we always learn, and this is the strategy to keep winning.
After a season, we have some organization troubles and we don't coming to season 2. We have top 2 in season 2, but we are not coming to finals. But we have great autumn. We are winning professional tourney Ural Steel in Russia, and we are winning WCG Grand Final, so national Grand Finals.
Well, we haven't met them yet this weekend, but I'm sure they're bound to make their mark, should I say. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome to the stage, Team Dignitas. Stalker, welcome to the stage. We haven't had a chance to catch up yet, so thank you for joining me. You guys finished at the top of the tables this season. Very impressive results. What was it that, contributed to you guys finishing at the top?
I think we can same in the season here, but at first we should find our tune, our style, and after it, guys just going to do what they're doing better. Their best.
So you guys haven't actually got to play yet, so you've spent a lot of time watching and taking it all in, but you haven't really managed to sit down and play a game. Do you think that's going to help you out? Do you value the time of being able to watch, or are you guys concerned about being a little bit rusty when you sit down?
Maybe no, because we're always playing some standards which different teams, and we are not focused only just one team, basically, because at first, no matter which team is our opponent, we don't afraid anybody.
Thank you very much, Stalker. They don't afraid of anything, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's pass it over to our casters to put these two teams under the microscope.
Thank you so much for that, and it is great seeing Dignitas now finally sitting down to the desk. These guys, we've been waiting to watch them the whole weekend, I feel. Certainly a team that I really do want to see, finishing with a fantastic record through the online season. 15 wins to only 3 losses. That is something to be truly proud of. And Carmen's just having a wander off. He's just staring down Dignitas like, what do you guys want? But yeah, that's a phenomenal result. So, obviously finishing in first, as Mitch mentioned, really rather impressive stuff. Yet to see them perform here yet. We've seen a lot of teams struggling with their first games here. Letting a couple of maps drop, even Virtus Pro, someone who, like myself, would never think they'd lose out, in a match, or at least in maps like that. They dropped 2 in a row, which was something to be worried about. Maybe Dignitas thinking, dear God, let's hope we don't go down the same route, because going down to Mines was truly nerve-wracking for anyone involved. But Lemming Train, we haven't seen them play yet either, today at least. You know, they've been around the venue, we've seen Carmen walking around, leaping downstairs. Still looks, you know, in fairly good shape. He's having a chat with people, so he's clearly okay. But, you know, they finished the season at a 12-4 ratio. Fairly impressive for themselves. Their season run was incredible, and there's one big victory within that I think you can at least highlight a little bit, is they managed to take down Dignitas.
Yeah, that's the most important one since they are playing them now. 3-2 was the scoreline. Lemming Train have a bit of a reputation of taking down Team Dignitas, actually. They did it through Season 1, Season 2. They have a pretty steady result. Even when Team Dignitas was known as Synergy, they used to beat them. Also beating Virtus Pro, so this is the team out of all of them that has been both the two juggernauts in the online stage at least, but now it's the offline stage, and it really starts to heat up now. Both teams, which is quite nice, have kind of an equal amount of experience in terms of offline events. Obviously, Stalker did mention it in the team video that they had been to WCG, they have been to the Eurosteel competition in Russia as well, so maybe Team Dignitas have an edge in that respect, but certainly not enough to make that much of a difference.
Yeah, and we did see them walking around in their WCG hoodies and T-shirts, clearly proud of the results from that one. We are almost ready for those map picks, and I think afterwards we'll have a look at the stats, because you're yet to see Dignitas's. But as we've seen, very common trend within the map choices so far and map bans. So it's all about that one really coming up in a couple of seconds. It's going to be Stalker up there making the choices for Dignitas. So curious to see what they go for. Not a team to shy away from the likes of Abbey or Steps, certainly one of the revolutionary sides towards it. So curious to see if they go for those to be removed. And what do you think on this one? What do you think we're going to be seeing eliminated here for these guys?
I know Team Dignitas are not a massive fan of Abbey, although that clutch moment by Apoel versus Virtus Pro
Can't deny it.
was the most insane thing I've ever seen, but you can't really rely on clutch moments like that. And 2 versus 1 is pretty ridiculous.
Wow.
Roomba going out, very interesting start. That was by Lemming Train, so they are going to be removing that first map. Perhaps not surprising considering their results. Yes, they definitely struggling somewhat against Dinova there when they lost 3-0. That's why they're playing Team Dignitas, the seed 1 from the online stage. Obviously, the first 2 go to today without having to play. So I'm looking for that second BAM. It will be Steps. So again, teams not liking Steps at all. They're
It'd be
really
nice to find out why. If we could get an interview with these players to find out, you know, really if it's that so much of a strong thought that they're willing to remove it straight away.
It's 100% because it's changed. The map has
to be.
changed. They haven't had enough time to train it. 8.10 was only released recently, and just don't like the fact that they can't play their normal tactics. It's unreliable. Mine's 5th map, not so surprising because it's such a hard map to play. You just saw Virtus Pro beat Lemming beat Dinova on that map for the first time from the south, thanks to some special tactics, some incredible thinking by their team captain Kreitz, team manager Diver. Now looking for that map 4.
Interesting.
Abbey. So again, mine's Abbey going out. So the 2 most banned out maps being our 4th and 5th. But I don't think this is going to be a 3-0. So we probably will be seeing 1, if not 2 of those maps. What do you think of map 3 though?
I'm just not too sure. I think it's just down to preference now and kind of comfort zone, because 3rd can be the swinging map to take it through. And I think watching that last game that Dinova was able to do it on Ensk, that's a fairly logical choice. But you know, Lemming Train, I didn't feel they looked too undefeatable when we've seen them on this. But Dignitas yet to be seen yet on this map, yet to be seen on any map in this event. So certainly an unknown element. You can see the discussion with Stalker. They're just making sure that everyone's, you know, comfortable with the choices being made, and they're all on the same page here, because, you know, obviously he is the voice of the team, but obviously everyone has to have that input there. So 2nd map, what do you think it's going to be here?
I'm looking towards Himmelsdorf because that's been the norm so far, though it was chosen as map number 1 in the previous semi-finals. But you can see Stalker is currently discussing with his team. Looks very energetic today, typical Stalker. He's an absolute genius. Without Stalker, I hear that the team just wouldn't be able to win. He is literally the reason why Team Dignitas is where they are. Himmelsdorf, 2nd map. That's going with the trend this weekend. So perhaps not surprising. First map obviously will be Prokhorovka, making our 5 maps: Prokhorovka, Himmelsdorf, Ensk, Abbey, and Mainz. But the most interesting thing is we have not seen Prokhorovka first.
Yeah, that's a very different start here. Stalker seems very happy with the little app that we've got going down there with the admins. He's just checking that one out. But still, yeah, Prokhorovka, Himmelsdorf, Ensk, Abbey, and Mainz are your 5 maps for this game between Dignitas and Lemming Train. Now, first time we'll be seeing Dignitas here. They look pretty ready. They look quite calm. Look, as you said, quite energetic for Stalker. The rest look quite calm, should I say. But yeah, it'd be very interesting to see this one. And I hope we can get those stats up now. I'd love to see Team Dignitas' stats. It could be the first time we'll be able to explain some of those and give you a little bit of background, a little bit of insight towards why we chose it. And generally, players like Apple Wow really do make a big difference is basically what the stats are about there. If those do get thrown up onto the screen, you can see it actually if you're in the venue on the right and left sides of the actual teams. They're looking at Lemming Train, looking very focused actually now. Not the jovial selves that they normally are. Normally you see Carmen obviously wandering around, but this time he's sat down, he's being very serious about this. Obviously, a lot of money on the line now is what they've got to be thinking about, and obviously Dignitas there on your screen, looking at those gorgeous t-shirts. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, OD, where's mine? Because Stephen got a Virtus Pro t-shirt. That's favoritism.
So did Simon.
But there we go. Okay, this is what we need to be looking at. Team Dignitas' team rating from us. We did this, it's our fault, but their flight coordination and their accuracy being their highest defining points. Apple, WoW, and Co. hitting up into the 70-80% accuracy over a whole season. That is phenomenal. Aggressiveness, we didn't rate it too highly, but it's not a bad thing we didn't rate it too highly, I think, is the best way you could explain it.
Yeah, but the problem is, if we put aggressiveness really high, then it's basically spell. You cannot be that aggressive because then it just becomes stupid and not intelligent at all. So then we decrease decision making. So the decision making compared to the aggressiveness is a good ratio. Fight coordination, accuracy, the two things which really come with skillful players, which is Team Dignitas' most strong point. You know, you got like Pavel, the best player all round, and obviously Applewell, the best player in the AMX 3090, probably in the league. And I will go so far as to say definitely in the league. Applewell is in his own league in the AMX 3090. So fantastic stuff. The two teams are very good, but the question is, will these statistics make any difference? You can see now the opposite almost, polar opposite of Team Dignitas. Accuracy down, very low. Fight coordination also quite low, but decision making just as high. Creativity much higher.
Certainly, they are a team to truly innovate, bring a different flavour to some of the games, and that's what they really depend on here, and they're going to have to bring that out today. Dignitas always able to adapt. One of their, I feel, their strongest points, and that comes with the decision-making that they really do kind of excel in, is the fact that they can always have their backup plans are almost as good as their first plan. You know, they always seem to have something up their sleeve that's phenomenal, and that's surely what's in the back of the mind of the Lemming Train guys right now. So just considering their options as Dignitas do just get themselves comfortable here, getting set up. Obviously the first time sitting down at these desks, so it may take a little bit of time just for them to get used to this and kind of get in the zone, make sure they're focused. And we can kind of slowly but surely turn our attention towards Prokhorovka because that is going to be the first map, as you mentioned. But before we do that, I do want to remind people at home you get involved via the Twitter routes, via Facebook, via all the social media ways that are out there for you guys. And, well, the easiest thing to do is pretty much tell us your thoughts on this game. Who is going to win to what scoreline? Is it going to be a 3-0 to Team Dignitas, who just turned up, sat down, played the games, and walked out with a victory in the bag? Or a Lemming Train going to take this further? We saw the first game going a little bit, wobbly for Virtus Pro earlier. They had to go right to the final map. Not something we expected there, but guys, do share your thoughts on Twitter at They Call Me Pansy for myself, at LaughterWOT for my co-caster, and always use the hashtag WGLEU. Simple as that. We love hearing from you there. You can see on your screen Stalker just getting himself comfortable, getting set up. Teammates beside him just making sure everything is correct, and he is the captain there, so he'll be the one just kind of ensuring that everything is working and that everything is pretty much set up for them. Now let's get back to Prokhorovka, because that is what we're going to be seeing first. Now we can kind of look back at the playing styles of these two teams and see what we feel is a key factor here, because Dignitas were yet to be seen in an offline sort of instance, but how do you think they're going to play this one?
I think they're going to play pretty aggressively. It's not their strongest map in the world. I think Lemming Train perhaps will take it on this one, but they're so consistent on every map that it's quite hard to say about Team Dignitas that they're not good on a map. I think they need to be careful that they don't make the same mistake as Virtus Pro made, where they overthought the situation and got themselves stuck in a very bad position. If they do push from the north, then they need to come over the south, as Virtus Pro did, but then actually commit to one movement. You can see there in the middle, that's Applewell. Pavel did make it here, in fact, so they will be having their full lineup. They had a little bit of a problem. His visa got stuck in transit, so massive congratulations that he's actually here. And obviously to Stalker, because Pavel is the best player, to be honest. Certainly. I mean, it's simple as that. He's absolutely unbelievable. He's up there with Power Slide and Strake as the top three players there in the whole of World of Tanks. So tank picking, has it begun? No, it's still getting on the way. We're just waiting for Team Dignitas to join in. and we can quickly run through the maps if you just joined us. The first one will be Prokhorovka, Himmelsdorf, Ensk, Abbey, and finally Mines. Obviously, this is a best of 5, so a team needs to win 3 rounds to progress to the finals.
You can see the warm-up there, just making sure he is comfortable in the setup. It's not a case that he's just typing WASDA to everyone. It literally is just making sure you feel comfortable with your setup, because obviously when you play at home, your chair's a different height, your desk is a different height. If you're not feeling comfortable, if your wrist is, maybe too extended, maybe on the desk, there's something different. It's all a factor here, so you want to be as comfortable as possible, making sure everything is perfect here, because the player on your screen just then prior to Carmen, is one of the best aimers you're going to see. And I do kind of throw my mind back to moments on Prokhorovka. I think it was Abbey who was on that hill on this map on the east side and performed absolute wonders, just absolutely decimating the opponent. So certainly going to be in the minds of the men you can see on your screen now. Lemming train, considering everything that's going on, just trying to think through things and tactics being told. And I do want your predictions towards Prokhorovka now. Obviously, we've kind of discussed what we can imagine to be happening, what should be happening, depending on sides. But what do you believe will be the result here on the first map, at least?
I think Lemming Train. I think I might just be completely wrong, but the problem is usually I would say Lemming Train on Prokhorovka, but they had a very bad result against Dinova, and 3-0 at the end of the day. It doesn't look kindly on a team which Dinova isn't as good as Team Dignitas. It's simple as that. They're not as experienced. They don't have that real grounding, and they're a relative new team in terms of their roster when you look at the face of it. So they're definitely going to struggle against Team Dignitas on every single map. But there's also a lot more on the line here. Just losing against Dinova meant they had to go through the small finals and had to beat out Evil Panel Squad and Kazna Crew, obviously. But I guess a focus on these guys' faces is pretty tangible, to be honest. You can cut it with a knife. But Stalker just
dropping off the Red Bull.
Just dropping off the Red Bull.
It literally was a Red Bull top up. They are just making sure they're all okay and ready to go. Obviously, they don't want to be, if they do have to go to a 5th map, getting a little bit of a tired state behind them. So it's all about picking this one up. So you're going with Lemming Train on this one, are you?
Yep.
Okay, that's fresh. I can't vote against Dignitas. They're first in the league. They've dropped 3 games in total, and that's unbelievable stuff. So I'm going with them. I'm going to stick with 3-0. I shouldn't. I should probably think that maybe Lemming Train can do more, but I wasn't convinced by them on Prokhorovka before. I think they looked a little bit shaky, and that's probably in their minds. Okay, yeah, we struggle against Dinova. How are we going to do against Dignitas? Because Dignitas are a step ahead a lot of the time. Don't get me wrong, Dinova took Verse Pro to 5 maps, but Dignitas are truly an element unto themselves. Just getting themselves prepared, making sure that everything is working correctly. And I don't know, Prokhorovka I feel is going to be theirs. I think Himmelsdorf, if you go against them, you're making mistakes, because they truly can be some of the most formidable players on that map, really showing their strength in all occasions, whether it be just with the tier 1s, the heavy tanks. Every single element of their setup on Himmelsdorf is absolutely something to be noted. So certainly something I'm looking towards there. But then Ensk, maybe a chance. But then again, it's very hard to say that they're not good at any maps. It's a weakness for Dignitas. They are certainly one of the stronger teams out there that, you have to be extraordinarily good at a map to take them down. It's a case in a lot of teams, or in a lot of esports, that you'll have teams that are just good on every map. They never have a weakness. But the only way you beat them is being extraordinary at that one map. You may lose out in the first 2, but you'll have to depend on your favorite, your best, your absolute optimal map to take them down. So hopefully everything's okay. They seem pretty relaxed now. They're just going to get themselves into the right mind frame here. And what are your thoughts about the later maps? How do you feel this one's going to go? Because you've kind of given the first to Lemming Train, so it's at least going to go up to Abbey. So where do you see the other maps going?
Himmelsdorf is I think it's going to go to Team Dignitas. They have a real amazing ability on Himmelsdorf. Such a good team overall. Ensk, it's a tricky one, judging on Lemming Train's performance, a bit shaky. I could also go to Team Dignitas, but Abbey is almost impossible to predict, because it can be played in so many different ways, and the same goes to mine. So, it could go 1-2, or it could go 2-all. So, I think we just have to wait and see, really, as Stalker just gets himself sorted and ready. As everyone is now joined us for this semi-finals, and the players that are going to be playing is Apple, Arclit, Pavel, Shanish, Monastery, Armley, and Stalker for Team Dignitas. And for Lemming Train, we've got Elian, Carmania, Pazzoni, Butcher, Merterius, and Potomako and Snip. So those are the 2 teams you can see getting themselves sorted and ready. I believe they're just getting their headsets on, so we should be underway fairly shortly.
Yeah, now as you mentioned, they are almost ready. We can kind of turn our attention to the next important factor of this game, which is going to be the tank picks. Now, Prokhorovka does allow for some variation. We've seen obviously 416s, we've seen Pershings, we've seen, hell, we've even seen, I think, Waffle Tigers in this one. We've seen a lot of different things. We saw RT coming back in, and they are getting the tank picks underway. So what do you think we're going to see here? Are they going to be surprises?
No, I don't think it's going to be too many surprises. I think 416 is the biggest one. Pershing, not such a big surprise, as the two teams do pick the T1s up as the standard picks. That means 5 tier 8 tanks will be picked, as obviously you need 8 times 5 is 40, plus the 2 T1s, 42 points, 7 players. That's the format. But it is Team Dignitas' chance to pick, so I'm predicting AMX 3090 T69 or a double of each, depending which way they really want to do things on our first match, which is, as you can see, Prokhorovka. I believe Lemming Train starting from the north, Team Dignitas starting from the south.
I'm not too sure, actually. I'm not sure if I've had clarification on that, and it'll be interesting to see, because such varying starts coming out from the dependent sides here. And you're absolutely spot on with your predictions there. It's almost like you know this game at times, Oliver.
Indeed, AMX 3090 T69 from Stalker. The same goes for Lemming Train there. So so far a mirrored matchup. Obviously you need that T69 for the gun depression, the AMX 3090 for the speed. And well, we're just waiting for Team Dignitas to get themselves sorted and pick the next couple of tanks. Obviously not too much discussion going on, because the first couple of picks at least are always the standard ones. So I think we won't have too much delay between them. But Stalker's are very... he concentrates a lot, and he likes to talk a lot. So he doesn't ever overlook something. That's what makes him such a good team captain.
Yeah, and team captains have so much pressure on their shoulders. We told this before, in the online section, that it's all good and well being the man at the helm here, but you've got to have people to listen to you, and clearly Team Dignitas do have faith in him. And even when things go wrong, if you make the wrong call, you've still got to put your faith into them the next map and hope that they get it right that time. And Stalker generally does come up pretty much trumps on that one. And he has gone for that next choice there, going for that T69 and that 1390. And now we see an interesting choice coming through.
So the MX 1390 and a 416 coming from Lemming Train. So first time they've actually picked the 416 up on this finals at least. They've obviously picked it on the online section, but Lemming Train are an innovative team. They do like to try different things, if not new things. So whoever's going to be playing that one will have to play it very well. Indeed, they're going to be picking it up with Butcher, their star player, definitely one of their best players. An actual ex-Evil Panda Squad player, obviously moving over to Lemming Train when it came Mouse Sports. So he's going to be the star player, and he's going to have to drive the hardest tank and probably have the hardest job.
Yeah, but he's certainly renowned for how well he can do it. He's a phenomenal player when it comes down to things like this. He truly does have talent, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he can do in that one. Probably the highest damaging player, I believe, for Lemming Train, and has the highest accuracy, so another strong showing from him. Just going to be wondering what the next couple of choices are coming through. Looking forward to seeing what the picks are. I'm just waiting for those last couple of choices. You okay there?
Yeah. Just waiting on Team Dignitas to pick. I think Team Dignitas have to discuss this. The MX 3090 being picked up as the last tank for them, making their lineup completely standard. They've gone for the triple MX 3090, double T69, double T1, whilst the same thing is going to be from Lemming Train, as we see if they're going to pick up an extra MX 3090 or perhaps even a T69.
Yeah, interesting little choice there to be made. It's always down to preference more than anything. Oh, that's not what we expected coming through there, actually, from Alien.
T32 coming out, actually. That's very interesting stuff. We've seen Dinova actually pick it on Prokhorovka, so looks like Lemming Train are going for the sniping move. They're definitely going to be sitting back and not really having the tanks to go forwards. 416 for the back, sniping for the support. T32 going forward just to absorb that damage and really to use that HP it's got. So interesting stuff. Perhaps this is a counter to Team Dignitas' just general aggressive playstyle.
Yeah, certainly been considering their options and considering things leading up to this. We've been kind of asking these guys, has there been discussions about adapting? And And clearly, Lemming Train have had those thoughts, and they're going out with something a little bit different, trying to counter the opponents, hopefully not overreacting to things. Carmen looking pretty relaxed there, just chilling out, having a laugh. But we are just going to wait for these guys to go live and hopefully be jumping in. But with this sort of lineup here, and we're seeing the Lemming Train in a defensive posture, how do you think they're going to do on this one? Because this is the team that you're kind of picking to win this. So do you think that's a good choice by them?
Yeah, I think it's so hard to call at this point. It depends entirely upon what they do, but more importantly, what Team Dignitas does to counter it. It used to be when the T-32 was picked that you just pick a bigger artillery.
Yeah.
Because it's such a big sitting duck. Even if you pick like a grill, for instance, 650 average damage on the grill. You do 3 shots, and that T-32 will be out of the game. You can't really avoid the damage that much. So you have so many problems to think about, but now artillery is not quite as favored, and the AMX 3090 is picked up instead of it.
Yeah, so very interesting choices to be made now. Dignitas clearly wanted to talk things through here, knowing that maybe their aggressive style won't quite work in this one. Maybe they'll have to kind of adapt and find a way through. They are just talking it over as we speak. Stalker still barking out the orders in this one. Very focused team, very much focused on what's going on now. And we are going to be jumping into game in just a moment. And as you can see, it's going to be a very, very interesting game to start this one off. This is going to be obviously match number 2 of day number 2. It's the first time we'll be watching Dignitas here. Lemming Train proving their worth in the first day, battling hard and fighting through the others, knocking Kazna down, and obviously the others, Evil Panda Squad out of this one, who are still around in the venue. Do not fear, they are still watching. The important factor is now we are onto the first map of at least 3 in this one. And it is going to be Prokhorovka. A bit of a taxing, a bit of a hard map. And obviously on the stats you can see we did rate Dignitas higher than Lemming Train. And it's hard to vote against the season winners almost. Or at least on the online section. So guys, we are into the first map. In the south, in the gold and yellow, it will be Team Dignitas for the first time to our eyes. And in the north, in blue, it's Lemming Train trying to prove everything now as they will be facing off against the big guys. So why don't you take us into what we're seeing so far?
Team Dignitas just pushing up the middle as expected. Lemming Train, a bit of a strange one. Okay, they've put Potomac and the MX 3090 back behind, but they've just pushed up that one ridge line. Materia's quite far in the background. Apoel, pretty aggressive straight into. We've never seen this from Team Dignitas before. I think they're going to be trying to get the defilade, but look at Armely.
Yeah, indeed. This is unbelievable. Apoel's reload is now just about available. Everyone's now into the action. And it is Alien fighting Monastery. They're taking down to 580. This is big bits of damage coming towards Dignitas. Finally, the reply comes in. Niers Pizzoni feeling the brunt of it too. Apoel exchanging with Potomaco here. Back and forth we go. Down to 82 HP. It's almost shared identically by 81 with Potomaco, but there's the first man to fall. Niers Pizzoni finding Apoel. The Polish crowd cheering on their champions. As Dignitas looking a little bit weaker here. The damage certainly coming down towards Monastery, and he's a weak link right now.
Povel's on the reload though. Butcher's off reload. He's going to go.
Yeah, Shanish is the one moving in. Niers Pizzoni's in trouble though. He's down to 142, and that's swiftly dealt with by Dignitas. That is a big player kind of removed there, as now Potomaco is now the next kind of big target probably in their eyes. Very easy. Povel sitting completely pretty in this one. Potomaco still trying to be involved in this, still trying to help out his team, but we do see trouble elsewhere. Armely has picked up Snip, so that's a tier 1 remove for Lemming Train. Not a huge loss here, but still, with the HP so low, there's a lot of work to be done.
Alien's about 5 seconds from reload, doesn't have much HP. Materius is still doing pretty fine. The more he goes into the game, the stronger he gets. Stalker and Carmen.
And there we have it. I think we found out which team captain's going to be happier now. And Stalker picking up the kill. Carmen now will have to be leading from the back. Povel peering over that railroad line. Materius to the left, though. You've got to be careful. He's going to be receiving a face full of damage coming in from Armely and Shanish, who now finally gets some fire towards them. Coming in from that 416 in the background with Butcher at the helm, but Materius is tracked. Oh. Finally, Butcher comes through big, taking down Shanish, and that is a bit of a game changer now, as Povel is the most important factor to these guys, still sitting very healthily. Going to be moving in towards Materius, trying to get this damage done. He gets the first, looking for the follow-up though. Can he connect it? Oh, here comes that fire. Butcher doing that work. Materius still falls, and that's not the way they wanted this to go. Butcher is now in trouble. Alien must be helping, as must Potomaco. Povel has to back away though. Cannot outsay his welcome as the shells are raining in, but look at that split coming through.
It's 3 against 3 at the moment, but Eli and Potomaco really felt the damage of Team Dignitas. Povel and Armely still sitting pretty healthy. Monastery would be good if he got taken down by a T1, but only none left from the side of of Lemming Train. Arklit getting spotted out. He's doing a good job spotting Lemming Train, and he's going to be the one going in, trying to get the spots out for his supporting crew in the background. But Lemming Train just getting caught out and put down. Stalker Arklit combo going in. Stalker doesn't have to worry too much about his HP because there's no T1s left, unless Lemming Train want to really waste the shell. The only one who can do that is Butcher, because he doesn't have an autoloader.
Yeah, and Butcher's the man you definitely want to be having in these situations. Left on 691 HP, so still sitting fairly okay. The best out of the bunch for Lemming Train, but has a lot of weight on his shoulders as the rest of the team are repositioning down by that 9 and 0 line, expecting a bit of a push over that crest by that 6A section. But still, there is Butcher in their way. Alien actually positioning further back, maybe trying to play this one out for the draw, but I don't think Dignitas will be allowing that to happen, especially with Armley on the hunt now, pushing up in that 1390. The cap has begun, so they're going to force the hand of Lemming Train one way or another. Armley edging over, looking for Butcher, not being able to find him just yet, spotted him out however, but where's the next move coming from? Or they're just going to lay him wait.
Butcher doesn't have to worry too much about the cap for at least, let's say, 10-15 seconds, because it's only 2 people in there. Armley's going to try and find an angle into Butcher, but even with Armley's autoloader, Butcher's still got support from Potomac in the background. Elian's going to have to try and do the damage. He's got to try and get in the middle and get spots up. Butcher just needs to put his copula over the hill to get the line of sight on that tank. Well, Elian, it's all on his hands.
But will he expect Povl? That's the big question in my eyes. That's a very big factor. This trying to get those blind shots through, not getting the connections he wanted. 7 seconds left on this cap. They're going to have to make a move soon. Right now, Dignitas are leading this game, and well, there's no way of stopping it. 2 seconds, 1 second. They have not stopped the cap, and Dignitas, by sheer force alone, have managed to pick up the first map in beautiful style. Povl will eventually pick up the kill as well, just to rub it in their faces. And Lemming Train, too scared to even engage.
It was such a close game, though. It was closer than it looked, because, you know, Lemming Train, they had the first kill in the bag, which gave them the advantage in terms of damage output at the beginning. But the problem is that they had that T-32, and I'm not sure what positioning that was, because what Team Dignitas could do was just ignore it completely, because it was down in the basin. If it had driven further up and kept on that pressure, fair enough, it would have been able to maybe do some damage. But Team Dignitas, just concentrate on the other tanks, do as much damage as possible. Okay, then the T-32, let's deal with that later. And it's exactly what happened. And obviously, you know, since they only lost 1 tank, they could really finish it off pretty quickly. But our next map will be Himmelsdorf, so a complete polar opposite of Prokhorovka. Both teams being tested from, you know, just their general coordination, which you need on Prokhorovka, an open map, and more of the standard World of Tanks skills, which you need on Himmelsdorf.
Well, already the upset for you is the fact that you've been wrong a lot today at the moment. We need to kind of help you with your predictions, because clearly it's not going well.
I always go for the underdog, that's the problem.
Okay, fair enough. I kind of get that. I do like generally going for them, but it's hard to kind of ignore Dignitas. And even though they went so aggressive, that was kind of a strange move. But we aren't seeing a lot of aggressive play actually at the moment. So far in the tournament, it's been quite passive. But Dignitas clearly ignoring that. They're like, we want to play the way we play. And they are going to be doing just that. So already leading the game 1-0 over Lemming Train, who really need to step up their game in the second map. Certainly going to be a proving point. If you can beat Dignitas on Himmelsdorf, you are certainly on the right road here. But still, I think the tank picks will be slowly beginning. Alien just saying out the double tier 1, so nothing too exciting there. But obviously, get your thoughts through to us. Get onto Facebook, get those votes going, and head over to Twitter and tweet at that account at WGLEU with the hashtag as well involved in that. Or you can tweet at myself at They Call Me Pansy and at LaughterWOT to see what we think of your thoughts on this game, because it's hard to call this one. Obviously, Lemming Train have the home crowd in front of them. They're maybe more slightly accustomed to the local surroundings, let's say, maybe a little bit more comfortable, but Dignitas looking like they're ready for business here. And we can kind of have a little bit of a talk about Himmelsdorf and the way it's going to be played, because we have seen a T-32 in the mix. We have seen that working out fairly well for Dinova. But do you think that's going to be even an option here, or is this going to be, you know, your good back to basics Himmelsdorf?
It's back to basics Himmelsdorf. It's just Himmelsdorf. It's not back to basics. It's just Himmelsdorf. I know Team Dignitas like that triple IS3 double 50-100. We've obviously seen Lemming Train this competition actually pick the Waffle Tiger, so that's an option for them as well. Although we have a risky strategy against Team Dignitas, but it did end up working against it was against Castle and Crew. So it was against the Evil Panel Squad and Castle and Crew. So I guess they could pick that one, but it's always a risky move. It just depends upon if they can actually connect the shells they need to. If they do, you get your 750 damage in the bag, and you're laughing all the way to the bank. But always a hard one. But it does look like Stalker's having a couple of issues, so it might be delayed for a couple more minutes. I believe it's some sound issues, if I can hear him correctly. It's very easy to hear Stalker from the other side of the room. You can hear him from the other side of the planet if you shout it loud enough.
Yeah, he's not the most quiet of folks, is he? He's quite a vocal fella. But we can kind of talk through, Team Dignitas' reign throughout the season as well, and why they are so strong. Obviously, only suffering 3 losses throughout the 22 games that they did play in Season 3. Losing out to Playing Ducks, which was a bit of a curious one. Prior to that, it was Lemming Train, their current opponent, and before that one, Oda Mortis. So, interesting choice of opponents to lose to, really. Out of all the ones that you'd kind of expect, they're the ones you probably least expect to ever be able to do it in a nice roundabout way. Virtus Pro, maybe Denova, another possible loss. But no, Lemming Train, they did finish in 3rd after that fantastic streak, but curious to see them losing out to, the likes of, Oda Mortis very early on. But then again, Oda Mortis did have a very good start to that season.
They had a great start. They were in first for the first few match days. But obviously that team struggled to get themselves together in the last 3. And only need to win one of those last 3 to qualify here for the Season 3 finals. But we've just got the double tier 1s picked from both teams. Looks like we are ready. Stalker is okay. And he's going to pick the double T1. So just standard, not going to pick anything else. But yeah, you were talking about Kazaker and Spell beating Team Dignitas. Spell perhaps is not so surprising because they are giant killers and they really have that uncanny ability just to push in and do something completely unexpected, which is what Team Dignitas really struggle against. Double IS3, Lemming Train. I imagine the same is going to come out from Team Dignitas. Probably maybe the double 5100. Nothing spectacular. I don't think ever, not even when artillery or TVD-2s were picked, that we really saw anything apart from the 5 standard heavy tanks.
Yeah, I don't think there's much need of change here. It perfectly suits and complements the map there. It's there's no green zone possibility really. Okay, you've got the hill, maybe you want a bit more gun depression, but that's about your real kind of possibilities to switch up. And it's the plus is certainly not worth the minus. If you do go for that over something, maybe pin a 5100 up there. So it's interesting to see what these teams really go for here, and they just really know these maps to the absolute core. Is what it just kind of tells me that the best options are generally played by these guys. There's no messing around in that front, and we'll just wait on the last couple of picks to come through. But your thoughts on this one? Would you dare to vote against Dignitas on Himmelsdorf?
Probably not. I like the underdog story, but there's a point where you just become a betting man and you end up losing all your money. So, the last pick for Lemming Train is that 5100, making their lineup a double IS3, triple 5100, double T1, just waiting on Team Dignitas. They are discussing it. Obviously, they have the option. Well, they basically have 3 options. They have the 5100, the IS3, and the Waffle Tiger, the Waffen Tiger. They're going to go for the 5100, so a complete and utter mirror match from both teams. It's more about, on Himmels, not so much about countering the other team's picks, but more about what kind of tactic do you want to use? Do you want to be offensive, or do you want to just peek around corners? The opposite, the latter is obviously more suited towards the IS3. The former definitely suits the AMX 5100 heavy lineup.
Yeah, indeed. And well, we can only wait and see the audience clearly waiting there. You guys finally realizing you're on camera when you look back towards the big screen. But we are just going to be waiting for this one to get underway as they are almost ready. Just talking through the last little kind of bits and pieces that could make a lot of difference. Obviously, okay, just a bit of a refresher. There's been a little bit of, not downtime, but obviously they've been here a couple of days. They haven't been playing tanks too much. So aside from Lemming Train obviously playing yesterday, but it's all about making sure you're completely crystal clear on what's about to happen. So Alien giving the command that obviously they are ready, just waiting on Dignitas's. And you're going with Dignitas. I certainly am. I'm still sticking with my 3-0 sweep. They look just as potent as they do online as they do here offline so far. I didn't have the pleasure of seeing them in the Season 2 finals, so first time really watching these guys in an offline event, and I'm certainly seeing why they are towards the kind of opinion of most of the audience as they are. So Stalker giving the command that they are ready, so we are not too far away from getting this one underway, and at present, in our opinions, it's going to be a 2-0 lead for Dignitas now. Obviously, we can't get too excited about that. We saw Denova obviously bringing it back almost to that final map, but we are just waiting on the games to load up and the teams to get themselves just into the servers and all ready and sorted out. So guys at home, this is your chance to let us know your thoughts and how you think this game is going to go. Is it going to be another 2-0 game, or is it going to be a 1-1 here? Maybe Lemming Train have something up their sleeve. Make sure you get your tweets out. Make sure you use that hashtag WGLU. Let's have a reminder of those stats as well. Dignitas, once again, it's always going to be favoured towards those guys. It's hard to deny the top ranking team in the season. So guys, let's get into Himmelsdorf in the south, in that golden yellow. It will be Team Dignitas, and in the north, with it all to do, Lemming Train, can they fight against the odds to take down the Giants, who are now going to be just steps away? So, what are these guys up to so far?
Team Dignitas sending Shanish and Monastery, the T1 and the MX5100 up the hill. Armley and Apawao in the MX5100 and IS3 looking towards the 8 line. We haven't really seen a team put a tank on the 8 line, but it does actually look like they're going to push up, not just put one there. I believe that's the IS3 going forwards. Armley getting spotted immediately, trying to get a shot out, but he's got to retreat because Carmen's playing that position perfectly. The IS3's up in the G line there. And finally, another spot we haven't seen for a while is the KJ line for the AMX5100. That's Team Dignitas. Lemming Train heading up the hill with a double 5100, the T1, sending the IS3 up to the 2 line, and of course, that's a normal standard engagement you have in the middle, the D line with the extra IS3. So standard stuff, I guess. 2 ways you can play Himmelsdorf, 2 different ways. But Snip, he's going to get some good information. Elian's actually committing to the hill as well, as is Butcher, Potomaco. So this could be the first bit of an engagement. And if they do commit to the hill, they might find that 51-100, like we saw D-Nova get caught out yesterday.
See, I was about to say, do you reckon Shanish is a little bit late to the marker there? Because Snip could kind of deny any information trickling through, but Shanish now will be getting those spots out. Snip pushing forward, trying to keep tabs on the opponent in there. And, well, actually, they haven't spotted the rest of the tanks, I don't believe, actually. So, maybe Dignitas could be in a little bit of trouble. Sending Applewell and Almley up there now, maybe expecting a bit more after getting the information down that banana line. They've spotted out a good couple of tanks now. They are getting the information here, working out where the further tanks are back. We've seen Alien taking down Shanish, needing to get that one done, but will they expect the counter push up the hill, or will Dignitas back away?
Team Dignitas are going to get themselves up the hill, but the question is what Elian's going to do, because if Apawao and Armley peek around right now, he could be in trouble.
This is perfect play. They waited, they laid in wait, and they found their prey, and they pounced. Armley receiving the shell instead of Applewell, backing away together, taking Alien down to 333 HP. That is not a pretty sight for any of the Lemming Train fans. He's now going to be at such a disadvantage. He's going to have to back away from this. He cannot withstand the pain from these 3. Further damage going down towards Niers Bizzoni, the player around that D-line, as he's got finally a little bit of backup. But there we have it. Mystery finds Alien. The call comes out from the teams, and these guys are getting riled up.
I mean, Mysterious and Niers Bizzoni going to have to try and do something, but it's the middle. He's going to get caught out.
Arclit is playing perfectly here, being a linchpin, almost the backup anchor player, holding Lemming Train at bay. Niers Bizzoni cannot do this. Stalker will be chased down by Potomaco, and actually he doesn't get the shot that he needed. Finally makes it there. So Potomaco has taken down Stalker, but still, this is going to be a very close game, and these guys are about to go head-to-head.
Lemming Train are down but not out. Niers Bizzoni and Mysterious, they got to play perfectly together because Monastery have the higher ground. He does get punished on that hill, so he's got to back out. Elian did get killed up there, so he could suffer the same fate. It's not a big map, so you can snipe across it, but you can see the tier point difference. At the moment, Lemming Train 1 tier 8 tank down. That's a mistake from Elian. He gambled, and it did not pay off at all. Lemming Train on the rotate, trying to get themselves back together, but as is Team Dignitas, they've seen the weakness, which is Butcher in the MX5100 and Potomaco in the MX5100. Applewell, Povell, the 2 in charge of taking those 2 down. But the game is not over. It might look like Team Dignitas are completely and utterly obliterating Lemming Train, but they still have plenty of damage and they have the skill to do it.
Let's find if they can actually utilize all of those skills in their arsenal and actually really pull themselves together. And I can actually talk from here. This guy is super loud right now. He's truly barking out the commands to his teammates, trying to get them right around towards the right area. Arclit and Armley now heading down that 3 line. They know Butcher was here, as he was the player to take down Stalker slightly earlier on. Potomaco backing away as well. These guys are turtling down here. Or are they going to try and adapt maybe, or just lay in wait for the opponent?
They're going to lay in wait for the opponent, because that's the only way they can actually counter the damage difference they have. So Team Dignitas have that extra tier 8 tank. So what Lemming Train have to do is wait for Team Dignitas to push in, so they can get those couple of extra shots in, which might take down one of these tanks. At least if if one of the Armley, Arclay or Monastery push in, but it's still a very long shot. Popful and Apple are now pushing forwards in those two very fast AMX-51s. They are kind of on a limb. Armley will only be able to get the sniping shots over this kind of rubble you see right in front of him. There's still that 5100 Monastery over on the hill. That guy coming over from Red Rush Team 3. It's such tenterhooks right now. I can't see how Povell and Arpawell will be able to engage from this position and get away with it.
Well, we are waiting to see the absolute genius that maybe Dignitas maybe got some of the sleeve, but clearly look at these positions, absolutely teasing Dignitas forward, hoping that they'll fall into the trap. Materius has appeared. Exchange does go down. We are seeing finally a little bit of move coming out from those 5100s, and that's what we were waiting for. Materius has to back away, but where's the backup? Will they be punished for overreaching here? Applewell and Povell yet to be challenged down. We are finally seeing that fire coming through. That is a beautiful engagement. Applewell's in trouble, going low. 817. Povell needs to get these shots through, but the challenging Butcher. Materius wants to push over. Will he expect Armley and Arclit? Here we go. Polo Mac around the side. These two are completely alienated. This is terrible stuff from these guys. They're going to be in trouble. Polo Mako picking up the kill. Can they find any more? Will they take down Povell? Can he get the exchange? But Polo Mako now going low. 163. He's going to have to back away, allow Butcher to come up and save him. But he does walk into the iron sides of Povell, and this is unbelievable stuff.
It's exactly what I was talking about. Lemming Train hunkering down, getting themselves into the right position. But look at Arclit Armley.
Arclit and Armley are going through, but another member of Dignitas will fall. And these guys now need to go absolutely insane to pull this one back, because Lemming Train are leading this game. Monastery nowhere to be found. He's coming around now. Butcher finding Povell. We are seeing Armley, Arclit and Monastery, the last three remaining players for Team Dignitas, and these guys must get involved.
Armley's on reload, about 25% into that Potomaco, about halfway. Butcher about halfway. They need to be on reload, otherwise he's going to be in trouble.
This is a perfect read. Materius has to hold him here, but Armley, oh my god, they've not done the damage. They're going to have to back away. Materius choosing his target wisely. He's going to be backing himself into the corner, waiting for it. He does get a shot. There we go. Arclit goes down. And now just Monastery and Armley left standing for Dignitas. And this is an absolute thrashing. Just tease them forwards, punish them for their ambition to take them down early. And now Armley backing away but receiving a shell for all the trouble. Finally, Monastery coming into the battle, but it's a little bit too late. He does. Oh my god, these guys are going so low. 257 HP for Monastery, 155 for Armley. And can you believe it? This is Team Dignitas right now on the back foot. And Polomako reloaded and ready to go, as is Butcher. There's nothing now stopping these guys. And this is going to be unbelievable.
I think they're going to have to try and come from behind. And let's hope that Monastery and Armley can try and do something with this very bad situation. Monastery still has 5 shells. Butcher has 4. Potomac holds all 6.
But they needed to make this count. Armley's just going in. He's going head first, and he's going to feel the pain of it. Materius takes him down. Now just Monastery alive in a 1v4 now. He's got the first, but he's got a lot more work to do. And he's got Butcher and Isbazorni teasing him down, but Potomaco, he's on the rotate. He's going around the flank. This could be the first map loss for Dignitas, and there we have it. Potomaco does the damage. The Polish crowd are going wild for their home team, and there is absolute silence from Team Dignitas.
What an absolutely incredible map. You can see the shock on Team Dignitas' face and the absolute wonder and amazement from Lemming Train coming back from being 1 tier 8 tank down. That is stuff of absolute legend. Potomaco doing the proper amount of damage. Look at that, 2,020 damage, followed by Materius 1.7k. What an absolute fantastic play. He's showing why he can do the pulls, he can do the clutch moments in that AMX 5100. He literally soloed 2 tanks. Amazing stuff. I was wondering this, you know, those 2 5100s going forwards on the 2 line, how can they actually win this engagement? And Lemming Train showing that when you're in the right position and you move in at the right time, you can do whatever you want, despite the fact that they had 1 tank less.
And look at their faces, it says enough. And there's the comparison. Just absolutely baffled. That was Dignitas' map. That's their strongest kind of map they have in their arsenal, I feel. That's where they can fall back on and know what they're doing. Stalker doesn't look too pleased right now. The calls are being made there. He is making sure they are focusing the hell up now, because something didn't go right there for those guys. You know, you can't deny Lemming Train's absolute phenomenal prowess. Carmen is clearly pumped up here, and I do not blame him for 1 second. They have just started to chip away at the giants that is Dignitas. That is how you do it, ladies and gents. That is how you cause these big teams to crumble. And well, what a perfect start. Next map, however, we've got to put our attention to it, is going to be Ensk. Now, this is a very, very different kind of style map. But do you think maybe just that little bit of confidence that is now beside Lemming Train is enough to carry them through this?
Well, the last time we saw Lemming Train play Team Dignitas, it didn't go so well for them, but on Ensk it didn't go so well. But you got to remember the Lemming Train's tactic on this map against these giants is to hunker down, at least from the south in that little square. It'll be interesting to see if they actually go for that one, or they might have to try something new, because it is the finals. This is the semi-finals. Whoever wins this will go on to play Virtus Pro in the finals. Now, one map apiece.
Yeah, and I do have to throw my mind back to the fact that, you know, Lemming Train, previously known as Mouse, did try out that 4-1, the Waffle Tiger here, sitting back down by their flag, watching over the railroad, watching for that cross, and they had that defensive formation within that small square towards the south. I wonder if they're going to do it again. That's the thing in my eyes. Are they going to go for that? The tank picks will be beginning, so why don't you take us through what we're seeing so far?
So we got, apart from the two T1s for both teams, double AMX 5100 for both Team Dignitas and Lemming Train. I'm expecting that to be the general theme, probably 2 RS3s a piece each. It's really when you get to the last tank pick in every map, really, that you kind of see the interesting stuff happen. Perhaps they're going to pick something along the lines of a Waffentrager, as you said. I remember when the T69 was picked, still, you know, teams like Oudemort still pick the T69. They have got Onkro playing it, so generally a good player in that tank, but still, it still struggles with penetration, and it's a hard tank to play. AMX 5100 last pick from Team Dignitas, last pick from Lemming Train, also the 5100. So the same lineups as we saw on Himmelsdorf, which didn't go into the favor of Team Dignitas at all, being picked here on Ensk. So 3 5100s, 2 IS3s, and 2 T1s.
But the thing I feel now is you're playing with fire. If you start kind of chipping away at Dignitas, they're not the team that kind of breaks down and kind of gives up. They're a team that fights back, and they fight damn hard. Now, we've seen, I looked at other games in instances like this, when the favorites get pushed, they push back. And, you know, I looked at, you know, CS, for example, as a title. Forest, one of the best players in my eyes, certainly kind of comparable to some of the players within this. You know, when you get him mad, he just comes out fighting even harder. And I think Dignitas, if they can kind of keep that in mind, kind of think about their options now coming up, they can be coming out absolutely guns blazing. This is the kind of first time they sat down in these chairs today. They haven't really had much of a chance to warm up in this area, but they're certainly getting a bit of a trial by fire here more than anything. Now sitting at 1-1. Does mean we'll be at least seeing Abbey now within the mix. Ensk, a bit of a shoe-in, really. So I'm not sure how to put this one. I'm not sure where my kind of thoughts lie, because, okay, logic has just been blown out the window because Dignitas just lost on Himmelsdorf. So let's ignore any sort of common sense here. Let's just kind of reel back to what we hope to see. And I still want to see Dignitas do well on this one. It's the first time I'm seeing these guys. I love the way they play online. I'm certainly a fan of their game style, but Lemming Train, they're proving the odds wrong here. Do you think this could be another one they could cause an upset on? You
know, I think it's really come to that stage where it's no longer about tank lineups or you know, map tactics as much. It's more about just who's got the drive going forward. So you know, it's very hard for me to sit here and say, okay, Lemming Train's going to win this one or Team Dignitas is going to win this one, because it's not so much about the teams. It's more about just, you know, the guys in the team. It doesn't matter about the names. They just need to play their hearts out, and that's what these two are going to have to do to bring it all. Well, not all even, up one for each, because they are one apiece. So, you know, we are loading into Ensk from the south. We have Lemming Train from the north. We've got Team Dignitas.
Yeah, indeed. So in a moment, we will be seeing these guys in the battle. And, well, as you mentioned, it's all about the moment now. We will be seeing who will be coming out on top here, who will be edging ahead. Currently tied at 1-1. Dignitas, as you mentioned, in the north in that golden yellow, now being shaken to the core by the southern, rather blue side of Lemming Train in front of their home audience, really giving us a show. And what are we seeing so far from these two?
So Monastery scampering right away towards that green zone. Pretty much the whole of, well, quite a lot of the Lemming Train, all their damage at least, those 5100s, Alien, Butcher and Potomaco going over towards the green side. Materius and Neopazorni in the IS3s going forwards. We've never seen a split push like this before. And we could see those two IS3s get spotted out and taken down real quick if they don't do it inch perfect. Armley's not going to spot them, so they have no idea. Well, just does in that case. So Armley gets spotted, Nia Pozzoni gets spotted. Carmen pushing up forwards in that T1. He wants to get the spots on to see exactly what is in that green zone.
Yeah, this is an aggressive Lemming train as well. These guys are really pushing in here. Materius is now moving in. Armley backing away. There could be some real trouble brewing in just a moment's time. And this is Dignitas being kind of cornered in. We are seeing the fire now going down. Povel and Monastery laying down the fire. You can see Monastery is in trouble. He's going to be taken low. Alien and Butcher are giving him an absolute seeing to. Alien, though, has been taken down, and Butcher must get the damage done. Monastery is so low here. He could go down. Can he get him on? No! Denied by the two absolute beasts of the Dignitas side. Prokhorovka, Mako, Materius and Niers Pizzoni with it all to do, but they're being caught in the back. Applewell still alive. Oh, perfect play. Stopping Niers Pizzoni where he was. But Monastery now the biggest target of focus. But Arclick coming around doesn't manage to get the shell onto Materius. But anyway, Niers Pizzoni could be the next target. We're seeing the battle going back and forth. Materius finding Monastery. This is not looking good for Lemming train.
They have to try and get themselves organised here, but he gets taken down, and Materius is now in trouble.
Materius now surrounded by 3 members of Team Dignitas. Stalker as well in the background, keeping eyes on the rest. Can they get this man down quick enough? 20 HP left towards him. Armley's rolling past. He knows this game is theirs in the bag. You wind up someone like Dignitas, they come out fighting. And they certainly want blood now, as Prokhorovka, the last man alive here. This is a point to be proven. They didn't play this one beautifully, Dignitas. They played it hard, they played it fast, and they certainly wanted to prove a point now. So, as we said, Prokhorovka, last man alive. What are his options here?
He's got to try and do something. He's got about 10 seconds left on that reload, but he's got way over 1.8k damage to do. He's got about 3,000 damage to do, so he really doesn't stand a chance unless he Amorex 1 or 2 tanks. But he's going to try anyway. Might play some Ring of Roses with Stalker. It's always good fun. He does take a big shell there from the IS3. He takes another one. It's going to be all over in a second.
Yeah, he's being picked to pieces like buzzards, just flying around the corpse. There is Lemming train, and there we have it. Second map. It's going to be going to Dignitas now, racking up their score to 2. And now we'll be seeing if this is going to be another 3-1, or maybe Lemming train can pull it back. But that map was certainly a point to be proven.
I mean, that was all Lemming Train's fault. That was them beating themselves. Actually, their tactic was really legit. It was a perfect tactic. It was properly good, but that came down to player skill and coordination, because it was the 2 AMX 5100s, Butcher and Elian in that train road, basically in charge of destroying a Monastery and Povel, trying to go over towards the green zone. So they were running back. But the thing is, they didn't hit the shots. They did not hit the shots, and they couldn't do the damage. Well, it was 2 versus 2, so they both had equal amount of chance. Obviously, Povel and Armley Monastery could reverse back and forwards. But why did Elian go down? Butcher was on 1,000 HP. They should have blocked for each other. They have enough HP to do that. And then maybe both of them would have stayed alive. Maybe one of them would have stayed alive, because both died. Just mismatch in timing, bad communication, an all-in strategy that just didn't pay off.
Yeah, and I think Dignitas are just having a quick chat amongst themselves, trying to sort themselves out for that possible final map, which is Abbey. Certainly a map that does take a lot of consideration here. Not sure what's going on with these guys. I think they are just going to be having a talk amongst themselves. A lot to be said, obviously, after the way that Himmelsdorf went down. A little bit of time to recollect, as you can see Stalker on your screens there. And hopefully it won't take too long, because we do want to actually see these games come to a close. The first match was a bit of an epic one, and this is certainly turning out to look the same if Lemming train can keep doing the damage that we've seen they are clearly capable of doing. But Ensk just fell to pieces. Their biggest downfall, which can be their aim, literally once again being their problem there.
Just miscommunication and aim. It was all about that. Maybe a bit of timing problems as well, but they tried something and it could have worked. It was certainly on the way to working. Maybe another 5 seconds, those 2 50-100s would have passed the point of no return, and they would have ended up coming, the 2 50-100s of Lemming train would have ended up coming around and taking them from behind. So just errors left, right and centre, but good try by Lemming train. Definitely showing that they have passion and they want this win, despite the slight errors they have. Only they're not out of this altogether. You know, they've got one more map to try and prove themselves on. Lemming train are good on Abbey. They are extremely good on Abbey. In my opinion, the second best after, of course, the infamous OM. So they've got to win this one, otherwise they are going to end up losing and going down to that losers final where they will meet the Genova in that to play for third place for the 15,000 euros. But Team Dignitas at the moment just preparing themselves to our right, having a team talk, Stalker drilling his team, making sure they understand exactly what he wants for them in this next map.
Yeah, and it's so important that it is crystal clear in situations like this. If Lemming Train start getting confident, if they start thinking, this is actually feasible, that's where you see the dangerous teams starting to appear. And, it's certainly something that Dignitas do not want to give too much of. Any sort of inkling that they may be weaker or maybe a vulnerable team, and they certainly aren't. So Dignitas just having a chat amongst themselves, literally every single player, very animated right now. It'd be great to see them rather than our ugly mugs, just so you can see exactly what's happening with these guys, because they are in deep discussion. And as much as people can say, pick when ready, when they're not at the desks, it's not going to happen. So obviously we can just kind of wait from this one. We can talk a little bit about Abbey and what we can be expecting from this, because obviously there's a lot of variation that can come out here. There's a lot that can be done on this. But, what do you think they're going to favour? Because Lemming Train clearly not afraid to switch things up, use, tactics that they're maybe holding back a touch. But, what do we think we're going to see here from these two teams?
So Lemming Train have to make sure that they don't get into a situation where they're overthinking maneuvers. We've seen a lot on Abbey where the two teams have just gone over towards that mountainside and had a kind of a Mexican standoff there. I'm expecting that to change. Lemming Train like that middle area, but as does Team Dignitas. You remember they quite like to put Armley up that. So it's all about the kind of things these guys want to try out. Do they want to try new tactics, things we haven't seen before, which you would expect in the finals? Or do they want to go for the reliable route, the route they know that works, and the route that has in the past worked for the most for them? But it's so 50-50, I can't call it at this point.
Yeah, and as much as we're sat on the fence, we still want to hear from you guys, obviously. And, well, we're going to pass you back over to a certain lovely lady who is waiting in the wings to kind of have a little bit of a chat with a certain someone who, well, he may not be very good at World of Tanks, but he can certainly talk into a microphone. Let's pass over to the lovely Melly to introduce you to him.
Hello. Thank you, Lauren. I just got a nice comment from my side, and eye contact have been made, and I think they will discuss this after this interview as soon as Lauren is available. But whatever, I'm not lonely, as you see. I'm joined by the one and only Simon Bump Bennett.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm really good, actually.
Well, quickly for the very few people that don't know you, what are you doing here?
At this event, I'm kind of in charge. This is something that Wargaming is doing for our Polish community. It's kind of awesome to see everyone here. So at the moment, right now, actually, I'm doing not a lot because ESL are doing a great job, which means I have to do a lot less.
That's nice, actually. Yeah. Taking a small break.
Yeah, chilling out.
Yeah.
Going to a nice restaurant.
While we're working. That's awesome. But then this event is kind of your baby, right?
Yeah, I mean, the WGL EU is something that we've wanted to do for a long time. This year was the first time we were able to really do it at a level that we kind of thought was good enough, with the ESL as a partner, which has been a great relationship. And I think that it's only going to go from strength to strength. So this event especially, I'm loving it right now. It's so cool.
That's so nice here. So it's going good so far. We have a packed venue here. We have a lot of people that actually join us for watching and following the matches that we have prepared. Well, we don't really have prepared them because the teams battled over a whole season to be here, and so it's just amazing to see the development of esports in the World of Tanks.
Yeah, I mean, when we started, we really didn't expect it to be quite so popular, but we're running tournaments now with 900 to 1,000 teams in Europe alone. So I cannot imagine what it's going to be like in a year's time, but I can only imagine that it's going to be 4 or 5 times the size that it is now, which is only a great thing for us.
Definitely is. So 2 teams have the chance to advance to the global finals, which will be in roughly 2 months?
Few months, yeah.
I don't know. Few. I heard 2. I don't know. I don't know yet. So could we get some information?
We can announce that it's in Poland again, in Warsaw, because we've already announced that, and it's soon, very soon.
Very soon. So it is kind of top secret. I will try to get more information out of Simon. with the help of Lauren, maybe, because Ollie's just putting up his thumb. Awesome. So as you see, we're having a great time here. And if you can make it to the next event, if you're not sadly here, then you should definitely try to be part of our audience here in the venue. Yeah. Maybe next time, maybe to Global Finals, which will happen in a soon few. Damn it, I can't get it out of him. Well, back to Lauren and Ollie. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Melly, and we will get Simon drunk later and make loads of recordings of him giving us all the details and all the juicy gossip. Do not fear.
Yep.
You know, he was saying something about Wargaming making a chess game or like a board game, I think, and you just get loads of these kind of inside information out of him.
He's got a vulnerability to tequila, I heard. So
so he likes tequila.
Yeah.
So anyone in the audience right now who wants to get any secret information out of Wargaming, that's how you do it. So make sure you find that man later and bring him loads of alcohol. He looks like he needs it. And we are almost ready to get underway into this one. The tank pick, I believe, has almost begun. I've seen a couple of them coming through here. We've seen the tier 1s being picked up, obviously, first. But following that, Abbey allows for some variation, doesn't it? Not a drastic amount, but we can see some sort of variations coming through.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously your random battle kind of way of playing Abbey. It's like, oh, just go over towards the right side, let's go towards the left side. But this is not random battles. This is a lot higher than that. But tank picking has begun, so we can jump into that. We got double T1 from both teams, double AMX 1390 T69 from both teams, AMX 5100 T69 from Team Dignitas, and Lemming Train picking up the AMX 1390 and the AMX 5100. So pretty much the same thing, but Lemming Train having the extra AMX 1390 at this point. But Stalker picking up that 1390 now, so standard lineup for him, the triple AMX 30, double AMX 1390, double T69, AMX 5100. One of his teams is not quite in the battle yet, so we have to wait for that. But now Lemming Train's chance to pick up the next thing, the next tank. So I'm expecting, not that, I tell you that again. Wasn't expecting that. T32 being picked up by Lemming Train, the tier 8 American heavy tank, making their lineup the double AMX 1390, T69, T32, double T1.
Yeah, very interesting choice there with that T32. Dignitas are ready, so just waiting on Lemming Train. Where do you think that's going to be played?
It's going to be played over towards the mountainside or the middle. There's your two options.
Very curious choice there. Let's hope that one pays off for these guys, because they're on the verge of Dignitas walking away with this one. Dignitas are currently at 2-1 of an advantage. So we are just going to obviously see how this one pans out. So guys, let's get you that video rolling for Abbey. It's the first time we're going to be seeing it.
Welcome to Abbey, a hard but gratifying map to master. Abbey is 1,000 by 1,000 meters and has 3 main routes of attack. The left mountainous area, through the Abbey in the middle, or in the trench to the right. The housed Abbey area in the middle, the winding trench road, and the treacherous mountainous area. The Abbey area can be moved upon on a central road. Often the two teams battle it out for the higher ground. The mountainous area often sees intense action as it overlooks the Abbey and provides key access to the enemy's base. The base area can also be accessed via the trench and is a common route of attack. It is essential to defend your base. Teams must pay close attention to their tank setups and in particular how they utilize them to greatest effects on what is a very complicated map.
Without kind of giving you a lovely hyped up introduction, I think everyone is very stationary. I think there's a couple of technical issues, so there probably will be a restart coming in here, so do not fear, ladies and gents. The admin is running around lovely and trying to sort things out. And this is your chance at home, once again, to get involved. Obviously, I keep telling you guys to tweet us because we like reading tweets. It makes us happy and think, you know, we pretend we're knowledgeable when we read them. You know, it's like if we can't account like, okay, these guys are going for Dignitas, we're like, yeah, Team Dignitas are going to win, and it's fantastic. So do make sure you tweet us. Obviously, go over to Twitter and look up myself, at They Call Me Pansy, and at Laughter, WOT. His name might be changing soon, but it's still that one for now. And make sure you give us your predictions on this game. You already kind of gave me a prediction on this one, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I thought
You okay there?
I thought it would be I think it will be a rather slow game. I'm not sure how Potomac is going to utilize that T32. I was talking about the middle. I was talking about that mountainside. That's basically the two options. The trench just doesn't work because the AMX 1390 speed. But these are the kind of options they have. But yeah, they obviously had a couple of issues. They were stationary as a pencil in that battle. So we're just going to wait for Team Dignitas to get ready.
As stationary as a pencil. I just don't know anymore. Has Mitch been giving you bad habits of how to use words?
No, the thing is, Mitch was critiquing Stalker on his English language, but Mitch is Australian, so it doesn't really make any sense, to be honest. But yeah, apparently black energy has now been given to me. But we are almost underway into our second game of the, well, not our second game, the second game of this first map, as the first one was dropped. As the teams just enter in, 15 seconds to get this battle underway. Again, that's Lemming train starting from the south, Team Dignitas starting from the north. Those lineups being a double a T69 5100 AMX 1390 ×2 for Team Dignitas, and for Lemming train double AMX 1390, T69, T32, and AMX 5100.
I'm waiting to see these both teams moving, and they are. So, without further ado, in the north, in that gold and yellow, it's going to be Team Dignitas, and in the south, with another map to catch up on, it's excuse me, in the south, it's going to be Lemming train. I can't use my words today. Words are hard.
I need to get you a compass, man.
I do indeed. I need one of those. But anyway, we are seeing these guys going up to flying start. So, is it the way you expected it to go? Yeah,
Pavel Shanish heading up the hill with the T69 AMX 5100. Armley is going to be up there as well. Elian, though, heading down to the bottom for Lemming train. He's got Carmen there in the T1. I believe that's the T69 up in G4-5 area, heading up towards the middle, trying to get some spots out there. But I believe the MX 1390 is up there already. Two heavy tanks like Lemming train played previously when they had this lineup in the base in the J line. So that's the 5100 and the T32. So standard start from what we've seen Lemming train do on this map before. We haven't seen Team Dignitas on this map, this finals. This is the first time they're playing it. Obviously, they are headed over towards the mountain side.
Yeah, so no one taking any damage just yet. Very interesting start there. Just not quite going through the complete normal routine here. So curious to see how this one goes. You aren't expecting this to be the most action-packed game initially. Obviously, it's Abbey. You've got to be careful. Got to be quite cautious. Monastery in the monastery.
Yep, that's what I was going to go for.
Yeah, I don't normally go for the obvious puns, but just to stop you making them, you're going to have to now, which is the problem.
You're learning quickly. That's my plan.
You're not teaching me anything good, which is the problem.
Well, Shanish and Applewell, Armley all starting to creep up into the mountainside. Going forwards, just depending upon if they actually get spotted or spot anything. Probably the former, but there's not anything going to be there, so they're going to try and sneak around on the two tanks that are sitting up into the middle, but they have that house to the left, but they can still get sandwiched in if they don't be careful. That's why the 5100 there is there in the G line. A couple of blind shots coming out, no connection so far. Armley's got to be a little bit careful because he can't get spotted, but he hasn't been, so no line of sight from Lemming train. That's why Armley wasn't spotted, and Chanish is going to have a go. Yeah,
Shelish laying down the fine. His Pazoni has received some damage there, down to 1171. Nothing huge, but every little helps. And now Shelish needs to back away, and they're playing a little more carefully. Carmen still keeping eyes on. They know that Stalker is merely steps away there. He's on the other side of the hill almost. And I'm just waiting to see how this one goes here. We are seeing Butcher getting some damage done towards him as well. Lemming train aren't in the best of shapes here, considering they've been barely spotted at the moment.
They haven't been spotted. It's just brilliant blind fire coming out of Shanish and Armley. That's exactly what they want to be doing, because it means that they can win the engagement. You know, so many games come down to that 200-300 HP mark. It makes a huge difference. But now Potomaco, Butcher, Nia Pazzoni, and the other AMX 1390 Alien are heading up in towards the center area. They're going to try and outmatch them. They have 4 against 3 there. This could be trouble for Team Dignitas if they don't get out of there, but Potomaco, he's going to have to play this game perfectly, take as little damage as possible whilst dealing as much damage and also soaking damage for his team.
Yeah, Applewell being the man at the front here, actually backing away from this one. I think they had an inkling of what might be coming around that corner. Armley and Shanish doing just the same, so giving up on the 1-2 line, but still, I think at the moment that's probably the best idea. I don't think these guys are going to make it there in time to really catch anyone out, as these guys are scampering away as quickly as possible. And we are seeing these guys getting away fairly unscathed now. And basically, what's the option? Do we just see these guys now staying in this and just hoping that, you know, this is the kind of, you know, head-to-head setup that we see now forming?
Well, what Lemming can do, there's basically like a bit of mounds around the sea line. Basically, they can just sit there, put the T-32 behind there, and just engage those tanks that are ready and waiting. Povel's actually just been spotted by Elian and trying to make a shot onto that Povel down to 91 HP. I believe that's from the T1 or just getting rammed. So at least Lemming know what kind of tanks are over there. And they have still got T69 into the middle, which is now actually starting to head up into the mountain area. So Lemming putting everything up into the mountain area. Very interesting stuff from them. Really are gambling on the fact that Team Dignitas are not going to challenge that, and they're not going to go forwards, or at least not going for the cap, which we've seen from the north quite a few times before.
Yeah, and Dignitas is certainly a team who will happily use that as well. You know, known for that on Himmelsdorf as well, using every single possibility there to get any pressure towards the opponent. So Polomako does feel the pain a little bit. They're down to 1303. So the shells are connecting for these guys. They're going to be careful. Monastery is receiving a fair chunk of damage. However, a little bit of a reply almost coming back in the fourth there. So Monastery needs to be careful. I don't think he's even sure where the shots are coming from. It was Polomako, I do believe. So a little bit more cautionary play possibly.
Polomako needs to just reverse because he's very conscious of the fact that Team Dignitas know where he is and they can just push on. But he has got that stone towards his left. He can just aim down there. Monastery starting to head down. He might actually just try and take care of Carmen. Now he knows there's nothing there. Well, he doesn't know entirely, but he can guess that the T-32 is unsupported, and an unsupported T-32 is completely vulnerable, and it's basically a sitting duck. But now Lemming now on the rotate, probably going to be heading back up to where they were before. Yep. Perhaps even just waiting for Team Dignitas to rush in. But interestingly enough, these two teams are playing almost exactly the same strategy, just from the different side. You know, either going for the middle, trying to get that dominance, and then going back up towards the mountainside, challenging, pushing the other team out, and then retreating again once they know that the other team's not there. The only difference is that Team Dignitas aren't putting all their eggs in one basket constantly. They got Monastery in the middle, and that's what Lemming sees as a weakness.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if they're actually going to really go for this, because you know, they could draw this map out, but Alien really pushing up here. He's looking like he wants to get involved into this. Monastery is still fairly, you know, on his own. As you mentioned, he's not, you know, the most well-supported player. In the background, Dignitas are obviously still available. Stalker has backed away from that, leaving Carmen to his own devices, at least for a second now. We're also going to see if these guys really do commit to this one.
Carmen's got to be careful, because as soon as he does head over that hill, he's going to get shot from the other side. You can see Team Dignitas are all set up along that ridge line, and that will basically allow them to shoot both Carmen and also tanks that are pushing on the hill. Indeed, the MX-3090 of Elian getting spotted out, I believe, by Arclit. So this is really back and forth. This is like a game of chess, constantly just trying to get objectives and trying to, you know, remove pieces from their board. But so far they've really struggled. They can't find a way in. They're just dancing between each other. You can hear Team Dignitas in the background constantly arguing, coming up with different strategies. But at the moment, and the theme for these matches is that Lemming has got all the passion and drive to go forwards, try new thing. Monastery finally taking one piece off. That'll be a pawn of Carmen in that T1.
Yeah, but pawns can really define these games, and Carmen is such a key player, but now he can lead from the overview almost here. So we're not going to wait to see what these guys can really come up with. Is there going to be a further plan here, or is this going to be what we see this game coming down to close to? Monastery is backing away as well. He's not going to be outstaying his welcome towards that central Abbey area. He's going to be joining the rest of Dignitas. 2 minutes and 24 seconds left. Would you try and engage on this situation?
Well, you can always go for the last-ditch attempt to try and win on tier points, and I think that's what Team Dignitas do. They want to try that angle from the side again, see if they can catch anything out from Lemming. But Lemming, with that foresight coming in, they're actually going to rotate back up around that mountain. We might just see an engagement towards that 1 minute mark. Depends how long it takes Lemming, and if they really do commit 100% towards that mountainside. But at least they won't get caught out in the middle, which would be absolutely disastrous. At the moment, Team Dignitas 1 up, and they only need 3 to move to the finals to go fight Virtus.pro, who did take down Dean Over in the earlier match. But in my opinion, 1 minute and 45 seconds just isn't enough on a map like Abbey, which I always say is played out so slow because of these reasons, because you can miss the other team so easily, and we'll just end up replaying it.
Yeah, but this is dangerous times. These teams are getting worryingly close to each other, and Alien in a great position. If you can play it smart here, can be kind of hunkering down, which is not too far away either. And they're predicting this one absolutely down to a T. 1 minute 20 left. This could be the fight that could define the next couple of seconds and possibly the next game. If Shanish goes around this corner and doesn't expect it, there could really be trouble. And here it comes. First shell will land, but will they engage any further? This is the question. Will they just hold now? 1 minute. Both teams not wanting to risk this one. I think they're going to be backing away from here. That was the kind of bit of a knock to the ego there of Dignitas saying, you do not want to try this one. Time to back away, time to reset and rethink things here, because that was just not what they wanted to be doing.
They would have gone into their doom if they went down that hill. You had the whole firepower of the T-32 AMX 5200 and T-69 waiting, as you can see, on that little hill area, and then you had the two AMX 3090s down below. What Team Dignitas could do if they had more time was just rush down the bottom and take those two AMX 3090s down, hoping that those three can't do enough damage or can't track them as they go across. But with 25 seconds left on the clock, I just do not see that happening. But what's quite nice about this game, it was 100% about the information, and now they have to use that information in the next game to try and come up with a good plan to take each other down.
Yeah, certainly going to be the discussion going through these guys right now, going through the teams, talking through what the next possibilities are. Dignitas just savouring the moment, maybe thinking about what they can do a bit different there. Shanish just letting a shell fly, nothing really to connect to, just playing it smart, and there we have it. Draw will be coming through, and we'll be replaying this map once more. And as you mentioned, it's all about that information, all about finding out who's got, the tanks where and what tank is, in what man's hands. And it's all about those little bits of information that come through to the players, and they can now reset and rethink the strategies. A bit of a frown on Stalker's face there, clearly deep in thought, trying to consider the options that are now available to them. Now, what do you think you'd go for here? If you'd seen what you'd seen just then, where do you adapt?
I think the best idea, I mean, it's very crude, perhaps because I'm a crude person, but just taking as much firepower as you can and go over towards that mountainside and just engage and see what happens. Or just take the AMX 3090s, screw the 5100, screw the T32, and just take that middle area, or put the T1s in the cap, because they'll just be small enough so you can't shoot out, especially from the south. And just go for that, put that pressure on, and then as soon as someone tries to stop the cap, you have the people in the middle to shoot across and stop them from decapping. That's the kind of thing you can come up with. But the problem with that is, like on Ensk, Lemming Train gambled with a tactic like that, and it just didn't work out. The timing wasn't quite there, and that can happen to them as well. And they just can't afford to do that. They just can't.
Yeah, and it seems that Dignitas aren't going for the re-choice here, or re-pick, should I say. And Lemming Train probably the ones, if they were going to make any changes, they'd be the ones doing it with that, maybe that T32 if they weren't happy with it. But don't think they're going to be going for that either, so it should be going back into this one, I do hope. And yeah, they are both ready almost. We're just going to wait for the nod from both team captains, really. The Stalker just having a chat through all the options that they just had, all the kind of trickles of information that they found. And maybe they can make something out of it. Maybe they can find a way to take down Lemming Train and claim it in the fourth map here, rather than going on to mines for a decider. So you can see these guys talking through things as well, trying to make sure all the options are available to them that they need. Literally talking through every single tactic of how to play this one. Lemming Train are ready, just waiting on the go-ahead from Dignitas, and we'll be back underway. And you can see members of Denova there possibly staring at an opponent. Whoever doesn't win this one will be dropping down, obviously, and facing off against them for that third position. Interesting seeing who it is. Unless I'm mistaken, I'm terribly mistaken, aren't I?
Oh,
no, I'm not.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
Oh.
Okay, I'm not going mad. Good. My brain sometimes kind of like, it has its moments. But I think this is the last couple of chats for Dignitas happening, and it's just Stalker pretty much. You could remove the S from his name and it'd be pretty appropriate.
That is a genius comment right there.
I know, right?
That was pretty good.
Nailed it.
That was pretty good.
Nailed it.
I'll give you that one.
Even Mitch enjoyed it. Just stand to the side, just chilling out. Just sponsored by Alienware, apparently. Maybe HyperX in there.
I've got a pretty good one for Mitch, but it's not appropriate for the general viewing public.
We don't go towards that side of things when there's an audience here, Oliver. We need to like keep
that's
you
why
under
I'm keeping.
control.
That's why I'm keeping.
Oh, well done for having some restraint. I'm proud
very
of you.
rarely does it happen,
I'm very
but
proud, Oliver.
Occasionally, it does. There's ArcLit.
Thanks.
On your screen. Also inappropriate to move the A. But he's a brilliant player from Red Rush Unity. Obviously one of the best players in the world. He's actually played artillery for them.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. He's a pretty fantastic player. Anyway, we're ready to get underway for the other game. He was so brilliant. that he actually one-shot me like 4 times in one in
because
4
you
games.
got one shot, apparently that means they're good.
It does.
I don't know.
To one-shot me would be
I don't know.
incredible.
Doesn't sound too hard. Seems I've beaten you every time I've played you, when we were warming up before games, so
Sure,
I don't know how much I can take from your opinion right now, Oliver. I think we need to find maybe Rookill to replace you. His hair's getting even better. Anyway, let's look back to the game instead of our absolutely atrocious waffles. Team Dignitas are the ones that we voted for. Ollie's got the giggles. I'm on my own here, ladies and gents. Bear with me. Is that Mitch dying? Mitch, pull it together. Because right now, Team Dignitas are in the north in that gold and yellow, currently 2-1 in maps. Lemming Train in the south in blue. And now this could be the deciding map. If Dignitas win this, they'll be going through to the grand finals. Whereas Lemming Train need this one just to take it to mine. So take us through what they're doing so far.
So same start from Lemming Train. They're sending their tanks up towards that mountainside. Well, not the same start. They're not keeping the heavy tanks in their base like last time. I think they are going for what my first tactic was putting all tanks they can into that mountain and seeing exactly what happens. Snip and Monastery.
Snip going in. He's going to be punished for that one. No surprise there. But have they found anything more? Alien now is scampering away. He's seen the damage that can be dealt down that 8 line. He doesn't fancy his chances, really. The fire has come through. He's down at 8-2-2. Make it through. He did. God, he's getting absolutely decimated then. He's been taken very low, down to 5-2-9. And that's a massive start for Team Dignitas.
That's an old school tactic as well. Just catching out that one tank that goes down there and then doing as much damage as you can. So brilliant start from them. Really, really good gamble as well. They predicted that at least one tank would be there. They were trying to take out Karma, but indeed they ended up finding an AMX 1390 as well. So great stuff from Team Dignitas and prediction play really working out for them. But now those tanks will be on rotate, heading back up towards that mountainside, or perhaps even the middle area. But you can see Nia Pizzorni starting to scratch his way up there. He's got Materius, Butcher and Potomaco. Potomaco obviously going first because he is that big bruiser of a T-32. And honestly, this is starting to look a lot like that was going through my mind, but it looked a lot like some sort of engagement in the mountain, maybe just even a brawl like we've seen many times before on this map. It's the obvious choice. Butcher getting spotted out there, so he's got to try and reverse. He's still got the Arclit playing that T1 in the middle, just making sure he has that cross spot across the map.
Yeah, and do you think that maybe Dignitas can be called out by the slightly aggressive side of Lemming Train? They're pushed up quite far down this road, so it might be a little bit of a surprise here if they do come flying around that corner. They get Potomaco staring them down. They've got one little player splitting off to the right, and you can see instantly the turret's turning from Dignitas. Butcher is in trouble. He's cornered in, and it is a firing squad coming in from Dignitas. That is the key player for Lemming Train. Decimated. That is not a great start now.
Butcher again, absolutely decimated. I don't know why he was there. It was just completely a random move from him, maybe a lapse of concentration, but Lemming Train were on this position in Himmelsdorf. They were one tank down. They can take this one back, but they got to take down Pavel first.
Yeah, they certainly do, and he's the least of their troubles. There are players waiting in the background, fire coming whizzing past those shells, missing by merely centimeters, if that. Only does get his tracks back up and running. Shanish now laying in wait as well. That T69 waiting for Pavel or Potomaco, so excuse me, to peer around. And look at Alien going on the split. That could be a vital thing if he does fancy it. There are players waiting this one. We are now seeing the move beginning. Shanish receiving the first shell. Here we go. Pavel is still in the firing line. Oh, Arclit had to back away, but Potomaco making the move here. Pavel taken fairly low. 507. This is not looking too pretty here. And where is the action going now? Alien still trying to split it through. He needs to back away. Monastery now making the move. Pavel going down. He's on the 156. This is the important factor. He must stay alive. Look at the split from Applewell and Monastery, though. This is disastrous times from Lemming Train. They could be in serious trouble. Monastery and Applewell will be the ones dealing the damage. Alien, can he hold on to this himself? 76 HP remains. Applewell going through. Oh, lovely shot coming in. Applewell taking down Alien. And now Materius is in trouble. This is Dignitas at their finest, but they're certainly not out of the woods just yet. Materius is doing damage, but is it enough?
It's not enough. I don't think most of the tanks are reloading on Lemming Train. They're going to get crushed.
Indeed, Lemming Train are watching this game slip through their fingers. Monastery is backing away. He doesn't need to get involved in this. He can allow the rest of his team to come in. Once he's reloaded, obviously, he can join back into battle. But Shanish, Armley, and Pavel hot in pursuit, looking for the victory here. This could be them going through to the grand finals, merely moments away. Nias Pizzorni and Materius have it all to do. Certainly a lot of pressure on their shoulders. Everything now comes down to this moment. Now one little valley of absolute doom. Povel on the split, joined by Monastery, Shanish and Armley, staring them down. Shanish finding Materius is now just Nias Pizzoni and Carmen standing. Nias Pizzoni takes one, takes two. This could be all over in seconds. Nias Pizzoni can do nothing but turn to scrap in a mere matter of seconds. Down to 1-1-3. That's been taken away from him as now just Carmen standing. The captain now must wait to be taken out here to see his team not go through to the grand final.
Unbelievably sad times for Lemming Train. Look how many tanks on the side of Team Dignitas on, one shots right there. We've got Povel, Shanish and Monastery all down below 300 HP. Only Armley has got any sort of HP to speak of, and Carmen, the last man alive for Lemming Train, and with him the last hope of going through to the finals. But that, I would never thought I would say this, but Butcher throwing the game as Carmen drowns himself in his sorrows, as they will be leaving us
the
into the
tears
small
of Lemming
finals.
Train just kind of in a bit of a river there. But anyway, guys, Lemming Train, they tried their hardest, but Dignitas just a bit too strong. And look at these guys, just completely cool to it. They're like, okay, yeah, we expected this. We're through to the grand finals. But congratulations to Dignitas. They did it when it mattered. And Butcher, what just happened?
Their best player literally throwing the game. I think he thought he could take out that tier 1 without any risk, but of course he couldn't. As the whole of Team Dignitas were there, I don't think Lemming Train expected that they could get back that quick, and they just took him down. If Elian was alive, it would have been a different story because of how much damage Team Dignitas took. But that was a real fight to the teeth. Povel took first place in that one with 2.3k and that MX 5100, the best player from Team Dignitas. But look at Nia Pizzoni, 2,089 damage total in that game, and Potomaco 351 is the lowest. The lowest for Team Dignitas was Armley at 773, almost twice as much.
Yeah, and this is literally going to be heartbreaking times for these guys. And the sad fact that I can't help but recall is the fact that even on the team videos before day 2, they said the reason we struggled in the last offline finals was not because of the opponents being better than us, but we made mistakes. And once again, that one mistake, that one player who's out of position a little bit too long, might have just cost them that game. And it must be absolutely heartbreaking to come this far, play so well, yet just fall at the last hurdle. And they did truly challenge Dignitas then. Himmelsdorf was something to be remembered, something for them to look back on and be proud of. Now they need to be looking towards their next game in the lower side of things. And well, it's not going to be an easy one. Denova, certainly a tough opponent, certainly looked good through this tournament and looked very good against Virtus Pro, being able to take them all the way through to that final map. And, well, Lemming Train not quite able to do that against Dignitas. So certainly something to be keeping in mind there. And guys at home, you've got to kind of get your commiserations over across towards the Lemming Train guys. They tried hard, but the mistakes happen under pressure situations like this. And you do see the difference between a good player and a great player, where they can just handle that pressure and truly become the absolute monsters that Dignitas are. But anyway, enough of us talking about Dignitas. Let's hear it from them themselves. Let's see how they're feeling after that first victory. Over with Mitch.
Well, what a game it was, ladies and gentlemen. Did run over 4 maps, and definitely Lemming Train had us out of our seats at one point with Potomaco leading the charge there on Himmelsdorf. But I am here nonetheless with Stalker, and look, some fantastic games from you guys. Maybe a little bit nerves at some point there, and a couple of mistakes you probably don't want to make again. But Prokhorovka started so strongly. What we saw in the crowd was Applewell punch straight down the middle. We couldn't believe it because it was almost as if you read Lemming Train perfectly.
Yeah, we decided, I thought, some aggressive play at first, so it should be 2-13-90 at this middle. So it's a fail by player because he don't do what she must do, and we have some mistake in it, some problems. But our skill was aggressive and perfect in this battle.
You really herded them in. Sort of towards the 7-8 line on that map and didn't give them much choice. So let's talk about Himmelsdorf there, because you guys seem to start strong. We saw Elian committed to that top hill really early on, and you took him out quite easily. There were 8 tier points down, and from there, though, the wheels seemed to fall off. What happened?
Well, maybe we have checks that we're strong at first map and some relax. Maybe it's my nerves, it's the main part of this. It's our first game for this finals, so we have some nerves, some not in tune, but I think next map will underline that all good. So it's not 3-0, but it's 3-1 and we're going to final.
I'd definitely be happy with that if I was you. Thank you very much, Dorka, for joining me. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the stage is set for our final later on today. It's going to be Team Dignitas going up against Virtus Pro. That is not one to be missed, but we'll be back after a short break here. We're just going to go, so let the players relax and get maybe something to eat before we continue on, guys. Don't go too far, though. Get in on the conversation at Twitter, at WGLEU, hashtag WGLEU as well, guys. Get involved. We've been talking about it all day, and there is plenty to talk about indeed. All right, guys, we'll be back soon.
Well, there is always something new about the battleground. Every team is preparing something new, some new moves, so there will be plenty to watch.
Yes, it's always a big adventure and big pleasure.
Well, we feel great that we play in Poland again. Last time when we played, that was EM Katowice, and we managed to win. So it's a great feeling to be again, especially so close to Katowice. So there is chance to maybe repeat the winning. I think every one of us is quite different person, so everyone need to handle this his own way.
On the offline event, it's a lot of great teams like Virtus Pro, like Team Dignitas, but we really want to play with Lemming train because we play with them a few months ago on WCG qualification, and we are waiting for this match to take revenge for our loss. We have respect for all teams, but we are not scared of anybody. We are prepared, we are strong mentally, we have a lot of experience from other offline events, so we are not scared.
Keep your fingers crossed, every panda is coming.
And remember, never say no to pandas.
We feel chilled, we're focused, but we're having fun.
We prepared very well. We trained tough, long weeks, and we trained with different teams. We improved individually. We tried to do our best.
I think every team knows each other really, really well. I don't think there will be big surprises in gameplay or strategies. I think only the better focused teams or better prepared, I guess, will come on top.
I think the chances are equal for all the teams because it's an offline event, and yes, everyone is nervous, everyone prepared well. The teams know each other very well, so it's going to be very close games which will rely on small things, small mistakes, small individual play. So yeah.
5 days out of a week, we trained every day for a couple of hours. Even if we don't have team trainings, you train for yourself, you focus on your solo gameplay and try to improve yourself every day.
Well, the feeling is great. You play a lot of months online from your home, so then when you finally go to offline event, you have the opportunity to be with your teammates live, also with your opponents with whom you create rivalries, so it's a great feeling.
This is Kazna crew and Cobra is coming for you.
We prepared some special things and some surprises for opponents. So yeah, we have some special things.
There is many good teams on this event, really strong teams, especially Dignitas and Virtus Pro, but they are all beatable, so I think we can do it, we can win this tournament.
Talking about the relations in team, I think we are indeed a team now. We are friendly to each other. We spend a lot of time just chatting and discussing our interests, hobbies and other stuff.
I think we are prepared enough to beat any team on this offline event, and we will see who will win.
Of course, both leaders of current season, Virtus Pro and Dignitas, has proved that they are really strong and hard to beat. But everyone is beatable, and everything depends on how the team feels the very moment the game is in, when the game is in process.
G'day guys, how are you doing? We are here in the social corner. I just stole Melly's. Oh, don't look at me like that. I was just trying to help you out. Oh, fine.
I was perfectly fine.
You say it.
No.
You say it. It's
continue.
fine. It's
come
fine.
on, do my job. It's fine. Come on, Mitch. Just come
okay,
a bit
guys.
closer.
So, like, we're gonna do the
There's
social
a camera.
corner. Oh, really? Oh, it looks so pretty
and hold
today.
your microphone like this. It looks
Oh.
better.
Well, you want to do my job then? You want to swap? I can
No,
swap.
it's fine.
Okay, fine.
Let's swap for the next half of the show. Oh, hell no, don't do that. No, we won't do. I'm feeling pretty good here. I love my social media corner, my special social media corner.
So tell us, what are we doing here? What are we checking out? Because I know that a lot of guys have been getting involved in the conversation on Twitter.
Exactly.
Hashtag WGL EU is going off. I mean, it's getting eclipsed by Bieber tweets, but I mean, we've got to accept that. However, plenty of things to have a look at here.
Exactly. So I'm basically sitting here the whole day and just checking what people are saying, and I'm really amazed, and I'm really happy about the fact that so many people at home getting involved in our show by just simply tweeting us. It's awesome.
Great.
My Twitter feed just fills up every second with like 20 new tweets. That's just amazing to witness.
Yeah.
And the conversation span just, well, people talking about single tanks maybe, or just the whole event, or what they enjoyed most, or which punchline of Lauren and Pansy they liked most, or...
Lauren and Pansy. Is that laughter is a pansy? Because I'll get on that train. I'll get on that train. No? Oh, sorry.
I was actually thinking about saying stuff like that, but I didn't want to speak it out. But, well, I guess it happens after so many hours in front of a camera, stuff like that. But yeah, it was actually meant like that, but don't tell Ollie, please. Please.
Sure. Anyway, what have we got here?
So I picked up a tweet from Dingo, and he said we could have a look at my screen in one moment, so there we go. And he says, I guess Dignitas will win, but Lemming Train has a nice aggressive approach. That was regarding the last map we saw, and I think that kind of broke Lemming Train's neck.
They did. I mean, if you look at the aggressive approach that they applied, especially on Ensk, they wanted to go up the train line, which is great. It's an amazing vantage point if the other team are crossing. However, the other team weren't crossing. They actually set up to watch it, and what we saw is basically the guys from Dignitas just outplaying. They hit the shots they have to, and the 5100, it doesn't have the best gun because it's not super accurate at range, and the penetration can sometimes be a bit lackluster, and we just really saw that happen in front of us. So a bit of a shame, but... You know, and fair enough, though. I think we're all hoping to see at least another game out of Lemming Train.
Yeah, that's true. At least at the bronze game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but another thing is a topic that always comes up in Twitter are the autoloaders.
Yep.
So people either love or hate them. There's kind of no between. So what are the pros and cons of those autoloaders?
Well, look, essentially the fact is playing with your autoloaders is a huge boon to your team if you use them correctly, because the amount of front-loaded damage that they can have, the burst damage, is intense. You can get in up close with your opponent, essentially, because the guns are really that accurate. You can decimate one of their tanks and take that gun out of the fight really early. Great to do to another autoloader as well. Think about it, 130-90 can only take maybe 4 shots from another 30-90, maybe 5. And if you can really get a couple shots out of your guys, you go first. It's a kind of strategy with the autoloaders that it augments an aggressive approach. However, once you're out of shells, you're in trouble. And autoloaders generally, as we've seen so far, are quite fragile. And, that's why it's good to have an IS-3 sometimes, or a T-32 who can soak up the shots and then let your 30-90s respond with some damage.
Like tanking in the tank, right?
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
So another question I'd like asking you, since you have, you're not only a host, you're also a caster.
Yeah.
And you're an analyst as well.
Yeah.
So you know the game. Since when are you playing?
Yeah, so no, I've been doing that in Australia for some time. I cast out Go for What over there, as well as doing some stuff for Wargaming. So yeah, plenty of chance to play the game and stuff, and I love autoloaders. Now we're on that topic. I play 30-90s in 742 format myself, but difficult tank to play. But yeah, I mean, there's been so much stuff to be seeing at the moment. I've been leaning back in my chair talking to people, saying, "Oh, look at that! Look at that push was so aggressive," or "Notice the T-32 pickup." So what I've really loved seeing from these guys is a bit of innovation. I like that we're seeing a bit of the Pershings coming through, as well as the T-32s. The T-32 has a turret armor of I think over 260 millimeters, plus the actual turret mantle, which is quite thick in itself, impossible to penetrate even with gold rounds, and even especially because they got their penetration values got reduced somewhat now. The T-32 is so great until they get up close. So I just love, from an analyst point of view, seeing the different kinds of tanks and just how they're being used on maps, especially like Prokhorovka, where you've got the perfect hull down. It's been great.
Yeah, cool. Thank you very much. And I think we are ready to hand over to another short break with some awesome team videos, I guess.
I like them. We've been seeing them today. They look really cool. Let's check some more out.
Do that.
I think we are well prepared, we were training a lot. I think we have a great chance to show everybody that we are the best team now in Poland.
I think it's better to play in your home country because you have more fans cheering for you than for the enemy, so yeah, I think it's an advantage.
Now we are focusing to play good, don't make any mistakes, and do what we can do best. So play on 100% and win the tournament.
The biggest goal for me is to win the tournament, but the first step is to win with Polish guys and then to win with somebody from the Kazna-Denova matchup. I think the toughest work for us is the first game. If we win this, we can win easily with Denova or Kazna.
To be honest, we are mostly scared of ourselves because last tournaments we didn't lose because our enemies were great.
I think Virtus.pro and Dignitas will be hardest opponent here. Other teams are hard too, but not so much like them.
We already are that old and that whole team that we are already good vibrations. I think the best way for guys is that they are just trolling me all the time, so this is the best connection for them. Yes, I hope we will win and we'll do anything to do this.
It feels really great, and on the other hand I feel a lot of pressure because it will be tough competition to win, but if we win it will be great.
I think we prepared because we have boot camp, 5 days without transportation. It's payment by our sponsor and organization.
Relations in the team, yes. Everyone is a friend of everyone. We have, as I think, a lot of teams. We have a troll. We have 2 trolls in our team, but they are just making some funny things in our team to maintain our good relations.
How do I feel about winning so much money? It will be great. But on the other hand, I feel a lot of pressure because it will be tough competition to win.
Yes, we have rituals, a few words with all teams, something special for us.
We feel quite confident, though one of our players didn't come, but we will do our best to win.
The first season it seemed so much money for us at first, but now it's better motivation for us. Our main target is going to grand final.
We were training with the Russian Golden League teams, but we didn't have our usual partners, so our training was incomplete.
Yeah, this time we will make our visas before and we will prepare boot camp for us. We have 5 days in Kyiv and have preparing in local club Cyberzone. We have some team discussions for tactics.
We like a tournament area because it's very comfortable. It has everything we need and nothing distracts us from the game. We always improve, we always learn, and this is the strategy to keep winning.
After a season, we have some organization troubles and we don't coming to season 2. We have top 2 in season 2, but we are not coming to finals. But we have great autumn. We are winning professional tourney Ural Steel in Russia, and we are winning WCG Grand Final, so national Grand Finals.